it's good that we are having this session this week. This is also a form of Vesak celebration for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo. So first I'm going to pay my respect to the Buddha, and then we will go to our topic. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so the meaning of this recitation is I pay my respect to him who is the fully enlightened Buddha, the Blessed One, and the Worthy One, and the Enlightened One. So last few months, we have been talking about Dharma on different topics. This is a series of one topic, what we call the end of suffering. And the last month, we had this session on the dependent origination, which was a very deep discussion that we had. And today, our topic is karma and rebirth. And of course, David wants me to talk about all the key philosophy of the Buddha. And I think all these topics are related to the end of suffering. So now, the karma and rebirth, this is not a new, the topic or teaching of the Buddha. This concept, the karma and the rebirth, this concept has been there during the time of the Buddha. At that time, there were Brahmins called Brahmanism, and then Jains or Jainism, and they all were talking about karma and rebirth. So what Buddha did was, he gave a new interpretation to these concepts. Of course, first he followed the concepts prevalent at the time, and then later on, after becoming fully enlightened being, then he realized, the definition given to these terms, karma and rebirth, is not what Buddhas normally follow. And so he gave a new interpretation to the notion of karma and rebirth. At the time, people believed, now we are talking about the concept that existed today, the 2,600 years ago. And Asian spiritual traditions believe in another concept called the samsara. Samsara means the cycle of life. Endless, beginningless, the cycle of life. So when you talk about the samsara, obviously you have to talk about karma and rebirth. So now, how do we understand this notion of karma and rebirth? I would like to tell you some stories found in the teachings of the Buddha, called sutra literature. And then maybe from these stories, we can understand what does it mean, the karma, and how do we understand this notion of rebirth. Of course, in the Western world, these concepts are very new. And Western spiritual traditions do not talk about the rebirth or reincarnation. So in the Eastern spiritual traditions, talk about the rebirth, and once you talk about the rebirth, which is cycle of life, and then you have to talk about the notion of karma, concept of karma. So now, one day, a householder came to see the Buddha. And he said, Lord, there are Brahmins who are specialized in the performance of fire. And they have deep knowledge, and they help people, especially those who die. After they are dead, they lift them up to the heaven. They help you to go to heaven. So, Lord, you are a fully enlightened being, and I think you can do a good job, much better than these Brahmins who are not enlightened. Once people die, you also help them to go to heaven. You just perform the fire rituals, and then you lift them up to the heaven. So once you do this, all the people in this region or in this nation will follow your teachings. Then the Buddha said, householder, let me tell you something, ask you some questions, and then you reply to me as it fits. So now, there is this person that he is doing the killing, he is stealing, he is engaging in sexual misconduct, he is lying, doing the abusive speech, doing the divisive speech, doing the gossips, and he holds on to anger, he is greedy, and he holds on to wrong views. Now, when this person continues doing all these actions, now then you and all the people around, the people of this kingdom, go to this person, and knowing that he has been doing all these unwholesome deeds, bad deeds, now you want to pray for him. Oh, please let him go to heaven. Please, let us pray together. Let's help him to go to Brahma world and all these heavenly worlds. And now, our wishes, our prayers, will it help this person who has been doing all these negative actions to go to the heaven? Then this householder said, no. Then Buddha gives a simile. What is this simile? Now imagine you throw a huge boulder, the rock, into the water in a lake. Now the people gather at the lake, and they all are praying to the lake. Oh, please let this big rock, big boulder come onto the surface. Although we all continue wishing, praying, will it come out? Will it come onto the surface of the water? Then this householder said, no. So then the Buddha continues. He said, now imagine this person who is not doing killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, abusive speech, gossip. He doesn't hold on to anger. He's not greedy. He doesn't hold on to the wrong views. And when this person continues doing all the good work, and after his death, when all people gather around and keep praying for him, let him go to hell, let him go to bad place, will it help him to, our prayer, will it help him to go to hell? Then this householder said, no. Why? Because he has been doing all the good work. So then the Buddha gives another simile. He said, now imagine you throw some oil or ghee into the water. Now, of course, the ghee and the oil remaining on the surface of the water. And when you pray or wishing that let this ghee and oil go into the ocean bed or sink in the water, and will it happen? Then this householder said, no. So the Buddha said, in the same way, no matter how people make a wish, no matter what kind of rituals they do, no matter how long they continue praying, it is the karma of the people that really matters here. So, the rebirth in the heavenly world, or in the human world, or in the hells, or animal world, depends on what we are doing right here in this lifetime. So although we wish for you, let's say you're doing all the bad things, now we go and chant for you, pray for you, wishing divine world for you, but then it's not going to work out. Why? Because you know what you have been doing. So the rebirth takes place on what we are doing, the karma. Now, there is another story. There were two ascetics, and these ascetics were doing ascetic practices for many years. And these ascetics are known as the dog duty ascetic and the cow duty ascetic. Now, what does it mean? These ascetics believed when you do everything like a dog, that will help you to go to heaven. That will help you to achieve your liberation. And the ox duty ascetic believe that when you do everything like an ox or cow, that will help you to go gain liberation or go to heaven. So with this belief, they have been doing these practices for a long time. So maybe now they are at 70s or 80s. They develop kind of doubt about their own practice. And one day they were having this discussion. Look, my friends, both of us, we have been practicing this path for a long time. Do you think you have accomplished your goal? So when they were having this conversation, they realized they haven't achieved anything. Then they developed this fear. My goodness, we are at the last stage of our life. Now what can we do? So they said, there is this Buddha who's living nearby. We heard that he's enlightened, he's awakened, he knows, he has good knowledge, he's liberated. Why don't we go to him and ask him this question, whether we have accomplished our goal or not? So then, with this intention in mind, both ascetics went to see the Buddha. And there, they exchanged the greetings, and they set aside. And then the dog duty ascetic asked a question about his friend, the ox duty ascetic. So, Lord, my friend, the ox duty ascetic, has been practicing this ritual for a long time. Now, what could be his final destination? What kind of rebirth will he have in the future? Then the Buddha said, look, my friend, don't ask me this question. If you ask me this question, as a Buddha, I have to tell the truth. But don't ask me this question. But then the dog-eater ascetic, said, it's okay. I am asking this question because I want to know about my friend's future. Second time, Buddha refused. The third time I asked the same question, Buddha refused third time too. When he kept asking the same question over and over again, then the Buddha said, look, now I have to tell you the truth. Now, your friend, the ox duty ascetic, has been practicing this ritual for a long time. Now, do you know what happened? By doing this practice, he has developed what we call the ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and the ox mind. 4 things. Ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and ox mind. Now, what do you think? What kind of future or life will he have? If he developed all these 4, the habits, behavior, attitude, and mind, like an ox, of course, it's a wrong view, first of all. In the name of liberation, vimukti, he has been practicing the ox ritual. It's a wrong view. Because of this wrong view, he is going to go to hell, he said. Or if he doesn't go to hell, if he, after the hell, when he gets free from there, the hell, then he will go to the animal kingdom. He will be reborn as the ox. Why? Because all he did was developing the ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and ox mind. Then the ox-duty ascetic started crying. My goodness, what did I do? I think I wasted my life. I wanted liberation, but I developed a mind of the ox. Now this is what I'm going to be. So then the Buddha said, look, I told you, I warned you not to ask me this question. But then this ox-duty ascetic said, it's not because, I'm crying not because of my, I'm going to be the ox in the future, but my friend practiced the dog-duty asceticism. Now, Lord, I would like to know what kind of future will he have. Okay. So then again the Buddha said, please don't ask me this question. Then he kept asking this question after 3 times. After the 3 times, the Buddha said, now let me tell the truth. Again, the Buddha said, look, your friend, the dog-duty ascetic, for many years, by practicing dog rituals, all he did was developing the dog habit, dog behavior, dog attitude, and dog mind. So what do you expect of him? By practicing all this, the dog habit, dog behavior, dog mind, dog attitude. It's a wrong view. And after death, he's going to be reborn in the hell. And when he becomes free from hell, when he will go back to the animal kingdom, in the animal kingdom, he will be reborn as a dog. So there, actually Buddha, after telling this story, he's teaching some for some steps of about the karma.